Hello students, welcome back. Hope you have already learned the previous topic that we have discussed, which is eutrophication. We learned how the eutrophication is happening. It fully followed. So let's see about integrated wastewater treatment. So what is wastewater treatment? So first of all, know what is wastewater. Wastewater, in simple, it means it contains contaminants. It might be a pollutant or waste such as plastics or toothbrush or anything that you just dump into the water that is known as pollutant or contaminant. Finally, that water we call it as wastewater, right? So what is wastewater treatment? It is also known as sewage treatment, the removal of impurities from wastewaters. So what are impurities? The impurities such as leaves, textiles, logs, plastic materials, heavy metals, toxic metals, all these are known as impurities. So wastewater treatment, in simple, it means you have to treat them before it reaches the aquifers or natural bodies like lakes or pond, river, estuaries or oceans, right? So that is what we call wastewater treatment. So according to Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act in 1974, it is very essential that the water that we release into the aquatic environment, it should be treated, then only it should be released into the aquatic environment. So this wastewater treatment in general, it will be carried out in three ways. Okay, so you have physical methods, otherwise known as primary treatment, chemical methods, otherwise known as tertiary treatment, biological methods, otherwise known as secondary treatment. The first two are physical methods and biological method. The third one is chemical method. I'm sorry for this arrangement in number, but this is the order. Okay. So before I begin, I would like to give you a schematic representation how this wastewater treatment works. Okay, so let's see about it. So in simple, this is how it works. Okay, so the entire process work in simple this way. So the sewage, right, the raw sewage that comes from different sources. It can be home or industries or commercial restaurant, whatever it is. So all the sewage will be collected finally to this treatment facility, where the first step is physical method or primary treatment. In physical method or primary treatment, different kind of instrument or machines will be used to filter out the impurities, especially the bigger ones like plastics, textiles, leaves, logs. All this will be removed in the primary treatment with the help of different machines. So the first process is screens. So these screens will filter all the materials, that includes plastics and other materials which I told you. So it will filter that one. Then the water will be sent to the communicator. Finally, it will reach to the grid chamber. So grid chamber is nothing but the place where the water will be allowed to settle down for some time. So the big sedimented particles, big stones or other big particles will be allowed to settle down in here itself, so that it will not damage any motor or any pumping system. Hence it will be filtered here. So the water which contains all the heavy particles including stones, logs, textiles, leaves, all these things will be like filtered here, and that is what we call filtration method. And then after that, that sediment particle will be collected and it will be transported to either landfills like we have in Palikanna, right? Then after that, this water will be sent to the primary clarifier. So this primary clarifier, again here they will use flotation or centrifugal operator. So what is flotation? In simple, lot of fats and oils, they will not just it is very hard for us to give separate them, or they won't even go and settle down on the bottom, right? So in order to separate them, and also some organic material, very minute particles, right? So the big particle will get settled down due to the gravity, but very minute organic particles and fats, all this has to be removed before we send them to secondary treatment. So for that we use flotation and centrifugal operators. What is flotation? In flotation method, they will inject air, they will pump air. Okay, so there is one method called dissolved air method. Okay, so in that they will pump air into it, so the pumped air will just go, and the organic particles, fats, everything will get trapped into that small bubbles. When we pump an air, lot of small bubbles will be created, right? So in that bubble, this minute organic particle, fat, oil, all will get aggregate, and it will be forming a foam kind of substance on the surface of the sewage. So then that will be collected with the help of skimmer. There is a machine called skimmer that will be used to collect it. Then we have centrifugal apparatus. You know centrifugal force, right? So it just rotates per minute some 1,000 times. For example, in laboratory, we have centrifuge. So that rotates 4,000 per rotation per minute. Likewise, we can set it. Likewise, in here, according to the nature of the sewage, they will set up a certain rotation speed. So when it rotates, all these heavy particles will get settled on the bottom. Okay, so this settled particle is known as raw or primary sludge. Okay, so that will be collected, and it will be either sent to the disposal person or a disposal area, or else it will be incinerated. They'll burn it. Okay, so after this, so using flotation and centrifugal apparatus, we have separated all the impurities that includes big sediment particles. Okay, so this is what we call primary or physical method. Okay, so after that, this water will be sent to the secondary treatment, otherwise known as biological method. As the name suggests, in here what we do, we use microorganisms to decompose or break down the organic material. Of course, as I told you, this raw sewage will contain lot of nutrients and lot of chemical substances, right? That can be broken down with the help of living microorganisms. In biological method, we have different types like anaerobic tanks as well as aerobic tanks. In aerobic tank, the air will be injected again, otherwise known as oxidation ponds. So they will continuously supply oxygen in here. So the more biological oxygen demand is there, means then they will continuously supply more oxygen, because more oxygen, if we continuously supply more oxygen, then the microorganism that present here will be able to break the compound or digest the compounds, digest the other nutrients like phosphorus, nitrogen, other wastes, that organic material that present in that sewage water. So, and also after that, once this after aeration tank, then that will be sent to the secondary clarifier. Here the water will be allowed to get settled down, because the microorganisms, right, their population also would have increased as we have enhanced the oxygen concentration. So they must their population would have increased, so it will be like a thick foam, the microorganisms, so that has to be get settled down, right? So for that, the water will be sent to the secondary clarifier. Here the microorganisms, right, the flocks of the microorganism will be allowed to settle down, and this settled particle is known as activated sludge. And from this activated sludge, part of these flocks, right, the particle that got settled down here, right, will be sent again, will be used for this aeration purpose, because they need microorganisms to continuously to make sure that process continues, right? So again, part of this particle will be used here for the new water that comes from here, and the remaining thing will be sent back to the anaerobic process, where anaerobic bacteria will digest all the microorganisms that presented here, that lived here, right? That will be digested with the help of anaerobic bacteria, and also that will produce methane and hydrogen gas that will be used for some other purpose. And the final one is known as tertiary treatment. Of course, this water will contain lot of microorganisms and other impurities too. So we have to disinfect it, right, before we release into the aquatic environment. For that, we use lot of chemicals to treat the water, and it also varies depending upon the sewage water that we are processing at that time. So, okay, so I hope you all have an idea how this process works. Let's see one by one in little detail. So in physical method, as I told you, the substances, right, the insoluble substance like hard materials like textiles, leaves, logs, and all this will be treated, and also some colloids particle will be treated in the process of flotation, sedimentation, filtration, and centrifugal separation. I told you how flotation technique works. In flotation technique, they will simply inject air into the, this is known as like the process that they use for flotation is dissolved air flotation unit. Here the air will be injected. Once the air will be injected, organic material, oil, and other fat particles will be get set will be trapped inside that small bubbles, and it will just aggregate on the surface. With the help of this skimming mechanism, skimming machine, it will be removed from the sewage water. So this is how flotation technique works. Sedimentation, it in simple, it means all the particles, the sewage water, once it will, after the primary screening, it will be allowed to stand for some time. So the heavy particles such as stones and other heavy particles will be allowed to get settled down, and that settled particle is known as primary sludge. Remember I told you. And filtration is simple, like once after this process, again it will be filtered. The coarse and fine particles will be filtered. For centrifugal separation, I told you at a predefined or uh, particular rotation will be set inside that treatment facility, and once it rotates, the hard and heavy particles will get settled down. Only this sewage water will be uh, suspending on the surface, right? And this is how it will look when after flotation technique. So these are the small bubbles that they have injected. Once it has been injected, all these bubbles will contain oil or other organic materials. Okay, so this is how physical or primary treatment. In simple primary treatment, all the particles will be removed with the help of machines. Okay, so that is, in simple, we can say primary or physical treatment. So we have seen physical or primary treatment previously. Now let's just see the secondary treatment, otherwise known as biological method. So the definition of biological method, it can be defined as the treatment of wastewater by a process involving biological treatment with a secondary sedimentation. In other words, we can simply say it's a biological process where living organisms such as bacteria are used to treat the wastewater. As I told you earlier, bacteria, both aerobic and anaerobic bacteria, will be used to treat the wastewater once it has passed down from the physical or primary treatment. Let's see that in detail. So it is of two types. We have bioremediation and phytoremediation. So what is bioremediation? So the treatment of pollutants or waste, as in like oil spill, contaminated groundwater, or an industrial process, by the use of microorganisms such as bacteria that break down the undesirable substances. Okay, so I told you in the water that comes from the home, I mean domestic, industrial, commercial, or whatever it is, all it contains a lot of contaminants. It can be a pollutant or toxic metals or nutrients or chemical substances that we generate in our house and homes. So all these will be treated with the help of biological organisms such as bacteria. So they will just break down that compounds into simpler compounds so that that water is not harmful anymore. So, and the examples of bioremediation, they are oxidation ponds, otherwise known as aeration lagoons, and anaerobic treatment, otherwise known as anaerobic bioreactor and anaerobic lagoons. So let me tell you how it works. So in the schematic picture, we have seen once the wastewater is being passed down from the physical treatment, otherwise we call it primary treatment, it will be sent to the secondary treatment, which is in simple we call it biological method. Here, living organism bacteria, right? They will be continuously supplied with oxygen when it comes to oxidation ponds, because the more number of organic matter in that wastewater, more number of oxygen is required for the aerobic bacteria to grow and break down the waste material. Hence, we will supply more amount of oxygen. The more amount of oxygen that we provide, the lesser the BOD. BOD in simple, biological oxygen demand. I told you what is biological oxygen demand in my previous class. Biological oxygen demand in simple, it means all living organisms utilize oxygen for the survivability. So if you take say for example, there is a lake or a pond. Inside the pond you have surface, on the surface water you have algae and phytoplankton, and beneath it you will have primary consumers like small fishes and small crabs, and after that you will have fishes, and you will have big fishes and benthic organisms like crabs, snails, sea snails, all these things will be there. So everything needs oxygen to survive. Okay, so in a normal environment, the biological oxygen demand won't be that much, which means the amount of oxygen required for the survivability will be always normal. So there won't be any BOD, less BOD. The aquatic environment will have less biological oxygen demand. But when you take this polluted water or the water that contains more organic waste, or if you take eutrophication, say for example in a pond, you that pond is experiencing eutrophication. So what happens, the amount of oxygen required will be very high. That term is known as biological oxygen demand. Here we can see in the water that has been treated from the physical treatment will contain lot of organic materials, organic solids, organic matter. All this need to be broken down with the help of bacteria. So in aerobic treatment, otherwise we call it oxidation pond, we need oxygen. So more number of oxygen we provide, then there will be less biological oxygen demand. So once it has reached to the less biological oxygen demand, then that water will be sent to the next process, which is tertiary treatment, otherwise we call it chemical method. Okay, and we also have bioremediation. So I have given you a picture here so that you will have an idea. So we knew this part, this is primary treatment, right? So in primary treatment we use a lot of machines, and everything will be filtered, then it will be sent back to the primary settling tank. From that, then it will come to the secondary treatment, or otherwise known as biological treatment. Here we provide oxygen. More oxygen we provided, then the bacteria that survives will be able to grow much, because they won't face any high biological oxygen demand. Hence their growth will be high, and then a lot of harmful substance and chemicals will be broken down. Then it will be sent back to the secondary settling tank, where the biological flock, right, the microorganism flocks, so that will be allowed to get settled down. Only part of the portion, the settled microorganism flock, will be again used for the next process, and the remaining will be sent back to the anaerobic tank. An anaerobic tank or anaerobic process, again anaerobic bacteria will decompose it, and it will produce methane and nitrogen oxide. That gases will be used for further purpose. And we also have phytoremediation in biological treatment. So that involves, in simple, we use plants and microorganisms to improve the functionality, as well as to recover the contaminated soils or water. So so for that we have different places where people use different plants and microorganisms in the pond, and it will be that plants and microorganisms will take off the impurities, then it will be used for that water. will then be released into the not a normal aquatic environment. For example, after treatment, you can see the water is be released in the sea, as well as some part of the water, if it has good quality, then it will be used for irrigation and other domestic purpose. Okay. And the sludge also will be used for different purpose. Some sludge, based on its nature, it will be either incinerated, or it will be either used as a fertilizer. Again, it's a different process. Anyways, we don't want to know. So in India, we have under this phytoremediation, we have different treatment system: constructed wetlands, root zone wastewater treatment, decentralized wastewater treatment system. So this decentralized wastewater treatment system is there in India in two places. One is in Arwell, and another one is in Pondicherry, Aravind Eye Hospital. So as you can see here, they have used plants, right? So plants have been used to uh, treat the water. So the plants will absorb all the excess nutrients and other harmful pollutants and substance. Then the water will be clean, and the water can again be used for different purpose. You can see here the water, once it's filtered, it will be again released into the natural pond. So this is how they treat biological treatment. So let's see about chemical method. So in chemical method, we use chemicals to treat the water, to either to disinfect the water. After biological treatment, that water will contain a lot of microorganisms, and there might be even some change in the pH, as well as a lot of harmful substances will still be there. So all has to be removed. For that, we use chemical method. So there are different chemicals are used for different methods, depending upon the sewage water or wastewater that they are treating. Here we have specialized chemicals such as chlorine, hydrogen peroxide, sodium chloride, and sodium hypochlorite. All this will be used as a disinfectant agent that will clean the water, as well as remove all the microorganisms that present in that wastewater after it has been passed down from the secondary treatment to the tertiary treatment. So like in chemical method, there are different processes are there, like that includes chemical coagulation, chemical precipitation, oxidation, advanced oxidation, ion exchange, and chemical neutralization and stabilization. So all this all this process will vary depending upon the nature of this water that they are treating. And after this treatment, that water either it will be released into the aquatic environment, or else it will again be used for home purposes, such as to clean the for as it can even either be used as the bathing water, or for it will be even used for drinking water. It depends upon the quality of the water. So, so let's see few steps that are involved in chemical methods. The first, I have considered all these things are very important, so I put it here. Neutralization. In neutralization, the once the water has been passed down from the secondary treatment to the tertiary treatment, it will contain either the pH of the water, either it will be too acidic or it will be too alkaline. So we have to neutralize the pH. So for that, they will add different chemicals to neutralize the pH of the water. And in chemical precipitation, so in this method we generate insoluble solids. So there are some solids as well as chemical toxic elements. If it is dissolved in the water, and it is very it is very hard to remove them. At the same time, if that water is released with the same dissolved harmful toxic substance, again it will be a threat, or it will create harmful situation for the natural environment. Hence we follow the chemical precipitation. And here in chemical precipitation, we use different chemicals that will go and bind with all the toxic chemical substance and form a precipitation. With the help of mission or filtration technique, that precipitation will be removed. So likewise, we have coagulation. In coagulation method, they will destabilize the wastewater particles to generate the aggregation of particles. Like some organic materials will have negatively charged particles, so that they will release positively charged particles inside the water, and it will form a aggregation. I mean, it will just aggregate together, and that aggregation will be removed. So in here you can see the coagulant is added and it will form a precipitation, and once it will be once it is settled down, that will be removed. So, and also like by chemical oxidation and reduction and advanced in here we can oxidize or reduce produce a non-objectionable substance. As I told you, some substances are very harmful. So with this method, with the introduction of oxidizing agent during this chemical oxidation process, we can remove the pollutants. That pollutant will again undergo structural modification. Instead of being very harmful, they will make it less harmful, that substance. Okay, with the help of lot of chemical, once it's been released into the water, that will go and react with that chemical, and that will produce less harmful compounds. Okay, so this is how chemical methods also work. So I hope you understood, like in chemical method we generate insoluble solids, some with the help of chemical precipitation method. Likewise, we produce an insoluble gas, and some during this method we also produce biologically degradable substance from a non-biodegradable substance, and also we oxidize or reduce to produce a non-objectionable substance. So I hope you all understood. So if you still have any doubts, you can contact me, and it's a very simple process. If you understood the schematic diagram, then definitely all these things would have been very easy. If you still have doubt, you can ask me in the online class. Take care, guys.